righty. Good evening. I believe we are streaming live on YouTube here. We're about to be streaming live on YouTube. So here's the deal. We are currently watching a system that's coming through here and getting a lot of attention from just the sheer amount of lightning that's involved. So look at this view right here, okay? We're encompassing, a chunk of northwest Alabama, 543 lightning strikes within the last 10 minutes, okay? If you are in Jasper, you're probably feeling, the rain coming or seeing the rain coming down sideways. There's been reports of gusty winds as well. So as of now, there's not a warning with it. But again, that doesn't mean it's not significant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of give the big view, and then we're going to hone in on kind of the overall, threat of this. So there's a look at the DMA, Central Alabama. We'll put this in a 1-hour motion. So you can see most of this is moving about 45 miles an hour. And you can see it's moving off to the east with a little bit of a southerly shift to it. So far, it's been a fairly dry afternoon for folks south of I-20. That will likely change here over the next couple of hours. We are all under a severe thunderstorm watch that goes until 10 o'clock. This is our view from Jasper, where a pretty potent storm just went through there. And if you live there, you don't need me to show you. But boy, it was an intense line. There was some pea-sized hail reported. And there's a look at that severe thunderstorm watch everywhere in pink there. So this emits Greene, Hale, Sumter, and Perry counties in the southwestern corner of central Alabama. So back to the radar we go here. And again, the storm of note is going to be over in Walker County. So I'll zoom into this here. And you see where this there's these colors, these pinks, right? So if you ever pull up your radar app, or you are curious about how to read radar like reflectivity, when you see colors like that over near Cordova, it's a good bet that it's either really, really heavy rain or that's a little hail core. And I think it is, given the fact that we have seen some hail reports here. I'm keeping an eye on Slack to see if we've had any reports. But, for the most part, we are looking at a big, big lightning threat with this. And lightning, unfortunately, it's not a severe weather parameter. It's very hard to quantify lightning, right? Lightning is used as an indicator. Is the storm intensifying? Is it weakening? Well, look at this. I'm zoomed well into this cell, and there's 224 strikes within it. So in the Walker County area, there's going to be lightning, and it's going to be scary. It's going to be loud. Again, there is not currently a warning on this, but given the fact that, we can come and give you guys information, I thought we would do just that. So from a standpoint of winds, you can see the strongest winds are going to be just out ahead of this. So this is coming over Cordova right now. This will be coming into Dora, into Sipsey. And beyond that, you've got just torrential rains. Some people have messaged me and just said, holy cow, when this first comes through, you can't see anything. So there's a lot of instability. There's a lot of water in the atmosphere. And that is what is kind of leading to this overall setup here. So let's see here. Here's an update. Jefferson County, okay, no emergency-related calls to this point, which is good. We always keep an eye on that. I'm going to go over to our power outage index because that's the issue with lightning is you can knock out some power with lightning. So this is a look at the current state. We got 1,000 customers without power in Jefferson County, and then a handful in a few other counties in Alabama. But, as always, we continue to monitor this. So if you're just hopping on here to the live stream, again, we're on live here on our YouTube channel. And just wanted to pass on some information. Again, storms come through, it gets your attention. A lot of folks have anxiety about thunderstorms, and that's totally understandable, especially when you've got some that are packing a bit of a punch like these. One warning in place, central Alabama. That is currently over in Lamar County. It's set to expire here momentarily. We'll zoom in on that. There's the Vernon area. And if we switch over to the Columbus radar, this is where the strongest part of that cell would be. So right near Crossville, and this is going to be headed towards Mount Vernon. This is going to be headed eventually to the north side of Fayette. So this will be, round 2 for the Fayette area, and so we'll keep a heads up. Right now, they have not talked about extending that warning. So let's see here, Walker County. Right now, we do not have any trees down. That's good. Very strong winds being reported in the Boldo area. That was a couple minutes ago, around 6:40, and this again, these storms they ramp up quickly, they'll bottom out quickly, and in between there they can be fairly impactful. So this is what is headed into the Fayette County area. We'll zoom back out here, and the most potent storm, boy, this is coming into West Jefferson here, and this is a pretty nasty one here. So when you start to see it take this shape, okay, when you see a Boeing segment or like an arc rather, that is a sign of kind of a wind maximum. Okay, we're gonna switch over to the Birmingham radar. So where you see this kind of sticking out right here, that is a sign that our winds are intensifying right here and going in this direction. So towards Dora, towards Hull, towards the Bagley area, and this will very soon be crossing over into Jefferson County. And yes, below severe limits at this time. Still, we could be looking at, winds gusting, 40, 45, 50 miles an hour. Remember, severe weather criteria, your wind's got to be up closer to 60. And we don't have that here. But you can have enough. You got some skinny trees in the backyard. You've gotten excited about spring. You put your pots out. This will take those out in a second. And, of course, anytime you got some winds, we are, at risk for some power outages. So I'm watching the National Weather Service here. If you guys have any reports, send those over to us either on Slack or, go to my Facebook page if you want to, and, just pass those along here, because that's all we're trying to do is kind of give some information on what's happening here. So there is a bit of a spin aloft with this, but it's broad rotation. So a lot of these storms, you'll get these updrafts and it'll spin, but not enough to give us a tornado. And our wind profiles don't necessarily favor rotation and any sort of tornadic development, but the threat's like not zero. It's a very hard thing to quantify, because you're like, you want to say no, but never say never with stuff like this. So again, if you are right in here, Cordova to Sipsey, you're in the worst of it right now. Corner, all the way down to West Jefferson, you're probably next up with this. And this, again, what to expect. Very heavy rain, a ton of lightning, and this will continue to progress in general across the state from west to east. So time now 6:47. We'll do this just a little bit longer here. There's not really a time cap when we're just streaming on YouTube. So if for anyone out there who's watching, who has any questions, shoot those over here. We're looking at an afternoon it's very likely to segue, of course, into the evening for areas east of I-65. And we're going to have a period here where these are going to stay on the stronger side. But as we lose daylight, as we are now, we do expect a general weakening. Also, what is coming through Birmingham at the moment? This is below severe limits, but it's heavy rain. In fact, let's see if I can't get our Birmingham sky cam to pop up here. So this is the view from Jasper, where some of the more intense thunderstorms in the state just rolled on through. We'll look on over at the Birmingham area and see if we can get a view. There was a cloud to ground strike there, and that's kind of my biggest concern with a lot of what we are getting with these storms is just cloud to ground lightning. That's no fun. It's no fun at all. So let's play this out. This will be downtown Birmingham, and you are looking at a very, very heavy rain coming down. There's the interstate, and you're going to see a lot of lightning with this too. So it's an evening where if you had outdoor plans, you certainly don't anymore. We heard a lot of schools canceling their outside events. Right thing to do. Not everywhere has got the rain to this point, but it is moving through the state right now. So that's a view of the Birmingham area. We can kind of pan and tilt this around as these storms are moving through here. But nothing. This is not a severe thunderstorm. And the big thing I'll get a lot is, what do you mean it's not severe? This is having a big impact on my house. It's very loud. It's there's nonstop lightning. The winds are gusting, but to hit a certain criteria, you got to have winds 58 plus, right? You got to have hail about the size of a quarter, right? An inch in diameter at least, and or a tornado. And none of these storms at this current time are showing that as a byproduct or a side effect. So, not to downplay anything by there not being a warning in your location. These are loud. These are disruptive storms, and they will continue to be just that. So let's go back over to the radar here. We'll zoom back out for those of you watching on YouTube. Appreciate it. Again, just wanted to give an update on what's happening here. There is nothing of any severity right now. There's a lot of thunder. There's a lot of very heavy rain. And this is going to be with us through the next couple of hours. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch that is in place for central Alabama. That goes until 10 o'clock. Here's the positive. If you're watching this and you're like, I don't like thunderstorms. When is this going to end? The positive is once you get behind this line, so Fayette, you're going through it right now, okay? This is the second stronger storm or second potent storm that has moved through the Fayette area so far this evening. And after that, though, we're going to be in the clear. It is not, one after the other. This is a look into the Fayette area. And once again, we'll switch over to the Columbus radar and get a good look at this one. Heaviest rain just to the south of Fayette. And this is coming up towards the Gumbud area, and this will head just to the south of Stowe near Bankston, and this is headed towards Berry. But this little cluster right here, this should pretty much be it, all right? So for folks in West Alabama, got a little while longer, and then we'll be in the clear. It does appear that most of these cells are congealing or kind of merging together. Once that happens, a lot of times it'll cut off the strength or intensity of storms north of there. So what we've seen with this cell that's coming out of Walker County, look at that rain that's there in Jefferson. That disrupts the inflow. So you think of the inflow, that's the warm air that goes up into the storm and gives it fuel. And if you cut that off, if that is no longer a piece of the equation, it can start to limit the extent of what sort of maximum the storm can get to. So in the Birmingham area, we are seeing some pretty heavy rain, a lot of lightning here, and that's going to go for folks all over the metro, over towards McCalla, Hoover, Birmingham, Homewood, up towards Trussville, Gardendale, Fultondale, and you got another couple storms behind it. So we still have a couple hours of this heavy rain and potentially some gusty winds. As of now, there are no warnings here in central Alabama. So one more time, we'll give this kind of a regional view, and then unless something else pops off, we'll probably give this a break. If you have any questions, again, please reach out. I'd love to, give you peace of mind if we can through this. So there's the big picture, right? This is what we are looking at from a standpoint of the system in its entirety. You can see, obviously, the batch of rain moving across north and central Alabama. And there's nothing behind it. So once this moves through, we will be looking at better conditions as we head into the morning on Tuesday. So case of the Mondays and some stormy Monday evening weather, and then it'll be a little bit better. We got a couple other chances of storms here coming up later on this week, and I'll touch on that right before we hop off. But once again, this is a look at the radar. So if you're just now watching, I believe we're on YouTube. There is probably the strongest part of any storm on the map. It's over here near Dora. Probably got pea-sized hail with that. We also have very heavy rain, a lot of lightning. So in this frame, you see that lightning strike total. That's a lightning strike count over the last 10 minutes. That's a lot. That is a lot for this view. And that tells me that these storms still have plenty of fuel to use. You get lightning when either there's hail or there's cold air aloft. The difference in temperature or those hailstones hitting, they give off these charges, and the more positive, negative charges and the difference within the cloud, the more lightning strikes you have. And when you see upwards of 500 in an area like this, that shows these storms are still going strong, all right? They're not weakening, and you can certainly see the ramping up of lightning within these. So Dora, some very, very heavy rain. This is the I-22 corridor as you head up towards Cordova, towards Jasper, and let's see. Looks like we just had a wind gust over near the Holly Pond area. So some of these, here's the other thing, too, about these warnings. Sometimes they happen in between scans. That's why it popped up on here is look, severe or not, these can be, potent storms and can alter or disrupt your evening. So do not know where that report came from here. Just being reported that there was an estimated 60-mile-an-hour wind near Holly Pond, and we'll continue to watch that. So that will be this cell over here. I'll zoom in to the Blount County area. So if you're watching us in Blount County, good evening. That would likely have been, let's see, let me zoom in where we could have seen this part of the storm. But this Holly Pond is back here, okay? And this part of the storm right here, this part of the cell, this would be your hail core, your strongest part. And when that bottoms out, you'll get pretty good wind gusts. But look at how tight into this view I am. 138 strikes. I mean, that's a tremendous amount of lightning, and we'll continue to see a tremendous amount of lightning with these storms here this evening. So if you're at home and this is concerning to you, and you're very worried about this, it'll gradually be ending. Marion County, you're done. Winston County, besides the very southern fringe there that butts up to northern Walker County, you're done. Lamar County looks like you're done. For folks in Jefferson, we got a couple waves to go. For folks further down I-20, we still have a couple hours to go before these storms get there. I do expect a general weakening trend to begin here over the next hour or two, and that will be kind of the end of any severe threat. So one more time, there's a look over Birmingham. This is a look at our watches and warnings currently. Again, that watch everywhere. There is not a warning in central Alabama here as of about 7 o'clock. So right before I hop off, let me show you the next potential for storms here. This is a look at 1 o'clock on Wednesday. And as we go through the day Wednesday, I believe that we will be dry. It'll be a breezy, warm, very spring-like afternoon. And then as we head into the overnight, that's where we'll have this system push through. So positives and negatives with this, right? It's overnight and not good for being alert. We're all trying to go to sleep. Positive is we lose instability at night. We will see the potential for a couple stronger thunderstorms. This is an organized frontal system. What's moving through today is just a little shortwave, a little disturbance of the atmosphere. This will have a frontal boundary with it, which typically has more forcing. I think our best bet of seeing severe weather is going to be down there to the south of Demopolis in Marengo County. Call it a line from Aliceville to Alex City. And that's a rough estimate at this point. But, get a good front coming through. It'll be primarily overnight into early Thursday morning, and then we will see a much colder scenario. In fact, we'll flash this up there real quick. The 7-day forecast, we are looking at temperatures in the 30s potentially, so a frost on Friday morning. So that'll do it for this little cut in here. I'm going to watch this very closely. If you have any questions, try to answer those on social.